Dados. Alta. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Castillo De San Marcos National Monument, part of your National Park Service, and our 1740 Spanish cannon firing drill. Before we get started though, there are a few safety guidelines we do need to go over, not only for your safety, but also for the preservation of this fortress. We ask all our visitors, while you're here with us today, to simply do your part helping us preserve this place by not climbing, sitting, or standing on any of the cannons, the cannon carriages, or the shell stone walls of the fortress itself. During this firing demonstration, everyone right over here. Everyone right over here, please stay on your side of this white line until we declare the gun safe at the end of the drill. Once you declare it safe, you're more than welcome to come across, ask questions, and take pictures, but please wait until we declare the gun safe at the end of the drill. When we fire this gun, it will be very loud. If you have any small children with you, please make sure they cover their ears or cover their ears for them when the time comes. And for those of you that already have your ears covered, don't worry, we will stop and let you know before we fire the gun. In other words, you can take your hands down. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do for you today is not only fire a cannon for you, but demonstrate today how a cannon like this is used in a fortress under attack by the enemy. So this drill that we're going to show you today is a little different than what you see on battlefields or out on ships. We're demonstrating for you today siege warfare, obviously because we are in a fort, on top of a fort shooting a gun. And the gun we're going to do that with today here is called a 6-pound iron gun. A relatively small cannon for a fortress like this, but it still did a pretty good job. This particular cannon fired a baseball-sized 6-pound solid iron ball, and it could throw that ball as far away as where you see our lighthouse. A mile and a half away across this bay. But as you tour the fort today, you will find larger cannons. Over there, pointing to the south, we have 16, 18, and 24-pounder bronze and iron guns. Those guns are capable of throwing their shots anywhere from 2 to 3 miles away from this fort. Now try to imagine yourself as the attacker coming into St. Augustine. You're maybe 2 miles offshore. You hear a gun go off, and then suddenly there's a big splash in the water right by your boat. What would that tell you? That would basically say, I am too close, I might get hit. And the closer you get to this place, the higher the chances are they're going to hit you. 2 to 3 miles out, there's no guarantee a target they'll hit you right away, but they can still throw the ball that far. So as the attacker, what are some ways you can take over a fort like this? Throw cannonballs at it and eventually break the walls down? Well, you really don't know how many cannonballs it's going to take to break these walls. And you don't know how close you're going to get to this place, so you don't really know if you can bring a big enough mortar to get a shell over this building. And then, well, maybe you could take all the troops, bring some ladders, and try to get close enough to climb the building. You would lose a lot of soldiers trying to do that. So the easiest and safest way to take over a fortress is simply by surrounding it at a safe distance, cutting off all supply lines, and trying to starve the people in here to the point where they run out of everything and have to surrender. The drill we're about to show you today is what this place would do during an attack like that. This drill is going to be long and drawn out. It's going to take several minutes to fire one shot. But as we are doing this drill with one cannon, imagine all the other cannons in this fortress going through the same process. You have to stagger your firing rate out. You have to conserve your resources and maintain a well-disciplined gun crew so you don't use up everything too fast. Back in 1740, the next nearest friendly Spanish town was Havana, Cuba. Anytime St. Augustine was under attack, someone went to Cuba to get reinforcements and more supplies to come back here. The Spanish estimated it would take 2 months before Havana could support St. Augustine. So this fortress is on its own that entire 2-month time. And to make each and every one of the guns in this fort work during a 2-month-long siege, the Spanish came up with a system. Each cannon would only fire 4 times every hour. 1 shot every 15 minutes per gun. Not enough firepower to destroy or get rid of the enemy, but that's enough firepower to intimidate and scare them and make them think twice about getting too close to this fortress. And remember, while you're watching this drill, if you were out on a battlefield or out on a ship, it's a whole different story. The success of those gun crews depends on how fast you could reload and fire that gun. The soldiers that operated this place are the same soldiers that would do battlefield cannon firings as well. And if you had to fire these guns in a hurry, there are some historical accounts that talks about men firing cannons as fast as 35, 45 seconds between shots. So in the event of an emergency, like the enemy getting too close, they could fire the gun fast. But what we are demonstrating for you today is a drill designed to maintain discipline, conserve resources, and intimidate the enemy while they're at a far distance away. While this one gun is getting loaded or cleaned, other cannons would be firing, covering this gun's area as well. And ladies and gentlemen, throughout this fort's history, it has experienced several long-term siege. One in 1702, another one in 1740. And one of them lasted 51 days, another one lasted 38 days. Both times, reinforcements made it in from Havana. Both times, the enemy walked away with their heads down, unable to take over this fortress. The only time this building ever changed hands from one country to another, treaties that were negotiated far away from St. Augustine, Florida. And ladies and gentlemen, everyone you see dressed out here today, other than myself and a couple other individuals, these are our volunteers. We would not be able to put a program on like this for you today if it wasn't for their help and support. So join me in giving them a hand for coming out here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy this demonstration. Once again, we will let you know when it is time to cover your ears, and thank you for visiting Castillo De San Marcos.